You buy from different recruiting services. But you can do that. I'll never say don't do that, because if something doesn't work out and you look at me at the end of the senior year, well, my son didn't get any money to go play, whatever, I'm gonna say I'm sorry. Well, you told me not to get You can go get your recruiting service. I'm just not, I'm just telling you, I don't know if that's money well spent. I would get him at a couple more camps. I would stay on top of him yourself. I'd create that 3-ring binder. I'd have every letter in there. I'd have every phone call that you've made to colleges. I'd have all of that. All right? When are you leaving?
I can do it at 5:55.
Okay. Joe Spencer has done this, and he has it to perfection. And that is the reason, on top of him being a great player, why he's playing at the University of Illinois. This is when I cue you in here. So, just some questions. As far as, I met with the Spencers, I've sat down with them, I've met with different parents and different families. Joe had this mastered as far as exactly how to communicate with a college coach. Some things that helped you out were?
One big thing, he just touched on it, with like the letters and the emails, especially you're going to exchange emails with coaches all the time. Save everything they say, because you can go back on it and you can be like, well, you said this, I have it in print. And because especially you're going to talk to a lot of coaches, and everybody's going to be like, you should come to our camp, you should come to our camp, you should come to our camp. And one thing you need to do is, this is probably the biggest thing for me, especially is keep it family oriented, including Coach Kastner. You might as well become part of your family if you're going to be serious about it, because you're going to talk to him just as much as you're going to talk to anybody else. But you guys got to sit down and kind of decide who's BSing you and who's not, because it's a business for them, as well as you're chasing a dream, they're trying to win championships, and your money in their pocket, which is unfortunate nowadays, but that's how it is. So everybody's going to say come to your camp. I probably got invited to 50 camps. But you got to sit down and really talk with your family of what you want to do academically. Obviously that comes first and foremost. What level you want to play at, if either it's MAC, Big Ten, Division II, Ivy League, Division I AA, Division III. And then from there, you got to look at what schools, what campus you kind of like, and then go from there. Don't just be like, oh, it's Ohio State, I have to camp there right away. Because you could get on their campus, you could hate it. And then if you hate their campus, you're going to be miserable there for 4 years. Because there's schools that I would cross off my list right away because it's in a city. I didn't want to go to a city, I want to go to college town. So you got to look at the little things before you jump into the big things to get the offers and decide where you want to play. Because I think that's the easiest thing to do, and especially it's kind of nice to the college because you can kind of cross them off your list. Because for me, I wanted to play at the highest level. I wanted to play in the Big Ten, and there are certain Big Ten schools I knew I wanted to go to. But then, the MAC was a great opportunity. There was a lot of MAC schools I liked just as much as Big Ten schools, but there's only 2 or 3 of them. So I let the other 3 or 5 know who would offer me, hey, you're out of the running, just as you would hope that they would let you know. Off the top of the mind.
Yeah. Any questions for Joe while he's standing? I'm going to leave here in about 4 minutes or so. But the big thing is that Joe did is he didn't just talk the talk, he walked it. He saw me every day, if not every other day. And yes, we've formed a relationship where we'll be friends the rest of our life. There's no doubt about it. I will be talking to him probably until he's 50-some years old. And I love it. I love it. There couldn't be a better gift for me, personally, and then for the staff and for this school. But he walked it. He walked it. And he called, texted, emailed every week. Every week. And that's the things that I'm telling Randy and Tyler and Daryl now is you've got to make it an everyday hour or hour and a half that you've got to do that. If you want to live your dream, if you want to follow through and go play in the Big Ten or anywhere, in a Division II school, go play at Butler, go play at Indianapolis, you've got to show them that you want to play. And the parents are really the only ones that are going to include or really hold your sons accountable. You've got to have a passion for it. Some instances they'll save you money. In his case, it obviously saved him a lot of money. Division II will save you even more. Division III, there's a lot of grants and scholarships that are offered that can help along the line. I know I had some leadership scholarships that helped me out thousands. I'm still paying for my college bill. I remember saying at his GMC signing, you know, my wife and I are still paying for college. Mom and Dad didn't have our money. We're still paying for it. Lots of money. So I would really take this to heart as far as, man, we've got to put a plan together as far as how we're going to communicate daily, if not weekly, with colleges, and create that list. And all your players, and I'm missing a good amount here, all of our players, they're very aware of it, but they're not aware of the seriousness behind it, the importance behind it. Yes?
How soon do you start that process?
As far as calling?
Yeah.
Probably going into your junior year, sophomore year. I mean, you know, Stewie behind you, he's in his sophomore year, and he's calling schools and visiting those, following up with them. And they can be just quick emails, quick texts. And then sometimes when you call a coach, leave a message, guess what? Can't call you back. Can't call you back. You got to call again. And then you don't get a hold of them, you got to call again. You got to keep calling. They can't call you. They're only allowed so many calls. Now they'll call me. That's for darn sure. I get calls for Randy on my phone right now. I got calls for Corey. I got 2 calls from OU on 2 players today. They call me, and I tell Randy, I tell Corey, you better call OU today. I know they're going to be here Thursday, but call them today. So that's kind of how that works.
Coach, did you have your video and highlights done prior to calling me, or you know,
not necessarily?
Some of the kids are going to be juniors and didn't get a whole lot of varsity last year. You know, all they have of their highlights are from a JV game.
Right, and JV, what I'm saying, I would use JV tape if that's all you have. I would use it, but I'd be very. I'd have 5 clips maybe, just to show them, you know, an open field tackle, a breakaway run. You know, just try to, like Coach Kendall said, be very descriptive of, and plan out exactly what you want to highlight. But again, junior year for sure, and you can even go into your sophomore year of contacting. You know, again, Matt was fortunate because he played as a sophomore, and he had some great highlights. So again, that doesn't mean he can't use JV tape, or someone can't use JV tape, and they're highlighting a young man getting it done on a Saturday morning. You still can use that. You want to mark those. You want to make sure you're marking those.
Coach, isn't there something that says they can't talk to you until September of your junior year, though?
Yeah, well, you can call, as a son, you can call them, they just can't call you too, right?
But if you call and they answer, they can talk to you?
Yes, yes. Yeah, like I had, everybody. I mean, I had everybody in my office. It's in passing. Okay, it's in passing in my office on certain periods. And different periods at different times, very descriptive. But man, I had a guy that just left, went to Ohio State, was at UC. He just wants to see the body. Wants to see the body and moves on. All right, it's an eye test, up and down, move on, get me information, and go. You know, Air Force, they can talk to whoever, whenever. It's not there's not as many, you know, as many issues with them. They can come, talk, and move on.
I got a question for you, Joe. Because you had a unique situation. You had a coaching change. Because you were recruited by a different coach, obviously, and then of course you got a new coach that came from Toledo. At what point were you a little nervous as far as where you were? I guess 2 questions. Obviously, where did you realize where you were on their draft board, so to speak? Because obviously they're going after X number of kids, and you know, where do you figure out where you are? In other words, when they were contacting you, did you feel a lull period where they kind of, you know, they thought, well, they're not going to come here, we're not going to contact them anymore, or you know, anything like that? And then of course after you had the coaching change, what was your feeling on that?
Well, like colleges and like some schools will be really wishy-washy, like, oh, we like you and like 3 other guys, or some schools will be like, well, this is where you are, this is like exactly where you are. I was like, it came like summer before my senior year, like probably a month and a half before I committed. I actually kind of got tired of it all, and I just sat down and I called everyone and was like, straight up, just tell me, is it worth camping? Where am I at? And some schools will be like, oh, he's stepping out of his shoes, he shouldn't be doing it as a player. Some schools kind of respected that. And you can kind of tell too, like when they come and visit, if they're really interested, or if they're interested in someone else, or if they're just kind of making their rounds. And then, so it's just kind of, sometimes you just gotta stick your neck out, especially if you know it's a place you want to go. I had the top 3 schools, and one of them, I just said, hey, it's now or never, and it was never, so I just moved on to the other 2. And then with the coaching change, well, when we first talked about with Coach Kastner, and what I felt is once I committed to a school, I was committed to a school, I was done, unless there was a coaching change, which I didn't think was going to happen because they started off so well, but losing 6 games in a row. So when it happened, we just kind of took a step back and looked at it all again, and the big thing was I just wanted to see what type of kind of man or woman, it could be either or now, but took the head coaching position and my position coach, and just see if I connected with them as well as I did with the last staff, since I already liked the university and everything. And nothing really changed in the fact that, I still love the place and still, stayed committed because this is where I felt. Which was another point, like, when you're in this, like, it's very stressful. Like, it looks fun, but it'll come to a point where it'll be stressful at any level. My brother went through it too, and you just gotta go with what feels right, because the day I committed, I was sitting down at dinner, and my dad just went, so what do you want to do with the rest of your life? And I was like, well, I really like Illinois, it's where I'm the happiest. And he was like, okay, so what are you going to do now? And I was like, well, technically I should go visit all the other schools that offered me that I haven't visited yet. And he said, well, why? If you know where you want to go. I just called him and I committed right there after I called Coach Kastner. So it's got to be whatever you and your family feels right. Don't do it for anybody else, and don't overthink it, what other schools want. You got to kind of protect your back in the fact that, there's going to be another 6'3", 280-pound kid somewhere else in Utah or wherever that they can go ask to commit to.
He took some good unofficials though. Yeah. He got around and took unofficial visits, which really helped him out to go through the process. And we've had some seniors that have already went on unofficials, in the last, month. And that gets you on campus and gets you around the coaches. So that's always important too. Your junior and you're going into your senior year. It's real important. I think, Joe talking about stress. Yeah, it is stressful. But man, again, I'd have to pat him on the back. He handled it, and he was very steady through everything because he documented everything. He had everything organized. Now, I know you're thinking, well, my son's never going to do that. Well, then maybe you want to take over some of that as a mom and dad, or have your meeting and take care of business. So I know Joe has to get going, but
if anybody else has any questions, you can feel free
to ask.